Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. The award-winning Best Musical, Jim Steinman's Bat Out of Hell, has come to New York City Center, and I'm here at the Green Room 42, sitting with the show's two stars, Andrew Polec and Christina Bennington. Thanks so much for sitting with me here at the Green Room 42.
Oh
Thank
my gosh,
you. We're
thanks for having
thrilled.
us.
Okay, so listen, you just opened in Bat Out of Hell in New York City. How much fun are you having?
An absolute blast. It's crazy. Like, we're having the wildest time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is just a dream come true. You wake up every morning and you pinch yourself and you're like, wow, this is reality. We are rocking in New York every night and making audiences go wild.
Well, let's talk about the audience. I was there the other night. How do you describe the show? Is it a musical? Is it a rock concert? What's the blend? How do you describe it?
I think of it as like a concept rock musical. Yeah. It's like a rock and roll gig spectacular meets a book musical, meets just kind of theatrical spectacle, which is kind of a weird experience to be a part of. We always say it's Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We've gone through the motions and tried to figure out the best way to describe it. And Christina and I came up with the idea that it's the story of Romeo and Juliet meeting the story of Peter Pan, and they got together and made a rock and roll love child, and the birth just explodes onto the stage.
Every night.
Yeah. Okay, audiences fly in from everywhere to see this show.
Yes, it's insane. It's amazing. We're so grateful for people coming all this way. We've had people from our original runs in Manchester and London, Toronto. Someone was here from Japan the other day.
Oh yeah,
it's
Australia.
Yeah, it's wild. It honestly feels to me, this run in New York, every show feels like a Saturday night, which is so shocking to me. Every time when we start and everyone starts screaming after the first line, I'm like, oh gosh, it's a Tuesday.
It feels
Thanks,
like
guys.
a Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's
Tuesday
amazing.
was insane.
Yeah.
And people come dressed up as well, and you see them at stage door, and you're like, wow, it's like I'm looking in a mirror. You're dressed up perfectly as Strat, or you dressed up perfectly as Raven. So,
well, let's talk about your fans. A lot of diehard fans, like you said, that fly in from everywhere. I mean, what's it like meeting them, and what's the wildest gift you got from a fan too?
Oh gosh, we've gotten so many gifts. What I would say the most mind-blowing gift actually was probably from Jim Steinman himself. He gave us little Prince dolls, except they had long blonde hair and they had a microphone wire that was wrapped around their necks, and he was saying basically this is also his version of the Little Prince, this musical.
Yeah, it's wild. The fans are so amazing.
But I mean, you have
it's really touching, I think, because this music means so much to so many people. So what's amazing is when people come and they say it's been so important to me for 40 years, and actually it's lived up to expectations. Because that's, the fear when you're holding something that's so precious to people in your hands, that then for them to love it. And we've had a couple of people, give us memorabilia from when the original album came out. That was amazing. Original newspapers, original albums. It's so cool.
What, the newspaper that was originally in the Rolling Stones magazine, and also it was the blood red vinyl of I think it was just the Bat Out of Hell song, and then maybe Heaven Can Wait was on there as well.
Okay, you mentioned Jim Steinman. What was it like getting to meet him? Did you have to audition for him when you went in for this?
I had loads of... I kept getting calls from my agent saying, even after I'd already got the job, that Jim wanted to see me sing more things. So, because I hadn't sung Heaven Can Wait for my audition. And Heaven Can Wait was the first song that Jim had written specifically for the musical back when it was going through various iterations. And he said, how could you have given her the job without us hearing her sing Heaven Can Wait? So I had to go to the music supervisor's house and record on an iPhone me singing Heaven Can Wait with the supervisor, and it got sent to Jim over iPhone, and he said, thank goodness, it's okay, we can keep her. So that was pretty
pressure.
Yeah. So he's so encouraging and lovely and amazing, and always in support of us wanting to make the songs bigger and louder, which is our favorite.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you met him first?
I met him first in the audition room, and I guess I was a bit naive or ignorant, because you walk into that final callback room, and I was coming from nobody, so I just was a nobody walking in there, and all of a sudden I see a room filled with 20 people, and I'm just oh wow, these are a lot of people. So I just kind of did it, but I walked out, and other people who were waiting to go in were did you see Jim Steinman in there? I was wait, Jim Steinman was in there? And so, of course, I get called
Yeah.
back in to go back in to do, like, I think a scene with another actor. And I see him right in the middle. And there he is in his, like, I don't know, chair with, like, the bat wings coming out. And he had on, like, Lady Gaga sunglasses with, like, the crystals coming off of them.
So you knew it was him.
Yeah, you definitely... Yeah, it's not subtle at all. So, yeah, and I remember he just wanted me to sing Bat Out of Hell again and again. And even when I sang it and there was, like, nothing left to do, he was like, sing it more and sing, like, the second chorus where you go up higher. And I was like, oh okay, whatever you want.
So what's it been like getting to know him?
Gosh, you know, we had that, like, general meet and greet on the first day when we were,
In London.
Yeah, rehearsing in London. And I remember he put on a Darth Vader helmet.
Via Skype.
Yeah, via Skype.
On a laptop. To keep us amused.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Basically saying, like, I'm all of your fathers, I created you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there actually was a time where we, like, took that joke and we thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
And I, back in rehearsal, this never made it to the show, had a Darth Vader mask.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I would receive
I
it as a
forgot about
birthday
that.
present. And I would take it out of the big birthday present box.
Yeah.
And then at a point now where I just say, like, you're not my parents.
Yeah.
I used to put it on my head and say, you are not my father. Wild, just like, but then, you know, it got cut. But it was a great fun time.
A lot of things have been, you know, changed and cut, but they're great stories.
Because when were you first introduced to this music? Because these, of course, this show is based on those 3 Bat Out of Hell albums that have sold hundreds of millions of copies globally. Everybody knows, like, where they were. I mean, just, you listen to the audience, like you said, these fans, they all know where they were when they listened to these albums, in their car or at home. When were you first introduced to these?
Oh, jeez. My
You
story
brought up on
is... yes, I was. It kind of was the pivotal changing moment in my life. I just gotten into a bike accident, and, you know, they said you can't do lacrosse anymore because, you know, lacrosse involves a lot of hitting people and whacking people with sticks, and you know, you like to take out that anger, but then when they're like, you can't do that anymore, you're like, where do I put all this energy? So I guess my parents, seeing I was down, my dad, he played me rock and roll music, and he played me Paradise by the Dashboard Light, and it was just an eye-opening experience where you just go, what is this? This isn't a 3-minute song, this is like 10 minutes of pure joy, and you don't even know where it's going. So that kind of changed my trajectory, and I kind of went into the arts because of, you know, Bat Out of Hell and Meatloaf and Jim Steinman.
And now look where you are.
Yeah, now look where we are.
Wow.
That's crazy. What about for you?
I heard the music, most of my musical taste comes from what my dad played in the car.
Okay.
So, like, 70s rock is kind of like my jam, I guess. But professionally, I'd only ever done, like, soprano, classical, legit roles. So what's really fun to me is that this music, you know, when you first hear it, not only is it classic rock, it's also operatic in style, and it seems to me like the perfect mix of everything I've ever loved to be singing both of those styles kind of slammed together.
Because you were both sort of inspired by Disney, weren't you? Like, wasn't Mary Poppins like the first musical you saw, right?
Yeah.
And you saw Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Yep. I didn't know how that kid's body disappeared. It was the teacups.
You thought Chip was ahead, right?
Yeah, I really did think Chip was ahead. It's like, yeah, you could do that on TV, but how do you do that in theater? That's crazy.
Was that like a way in when you both sort of said, I want to be a performer? Or what was that defining moment for each of you when you said, I really want to do this?
I think, you know, you kind of are like, oh, whenever I was growing up, I loved singing.
Yeah.
And I always said that when I was 5, my school play was about mermaids. I don't remember what the title was, but they were like, they sat us down in class and they're like, okay, we're going to cast the play. And for some reason, you got to volunteer for which part you wanted. That was casting. I wish that worked like that in the real world.
Totally. I'll take the lead.
Right? And they went, who wants to be Queen of the Mermaids? And I put my hand up and I said, well, I've already got a mermaid costume. Lied. Barefaced lied. And went home and was like, Mom, I'm going to need you to make me a mermaid costume by tomorrow because I said that I had wanted to get the lead. And I've always said that that was the moment for me that I knew how to work the business. But actually it was probably, looking back at home videos, I was about 2, you know, like very precocious. I clearly always knew.
I could do that, right?
Yeah.
So was it the whole lacrosse thing, like you sitting there learning this music, or was...
Yeah, I think it was that. However, you know, I went back on it and I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll just do the pre-med path. And I went to like a very, you know, pre-med focused college up in Rochester, New York. And did fine in the classes, but then was just like, wow, there is something missing in my life. Like, where's the excitement? And then I got involved with like an very experimental theater organization at that school, and just when the director was like, you need to get naked on stage for this part, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, what's there to lose?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
This is a rock show like nonstop. You get on there, you're on this roller coaster ride, you sing these songs, you're on this incredible, amazing set that's multi-level, you're jumping around, you're riding motorcycles, I mean...
You're climbing everything.
Where do you find the vocal stamina and just the, what you need, the stamina just to get through this show?
I think a lot of it comes from repetition.
Yeah.
The first week is always the hardest, and then the more you do it, like any muscle, you're able to like flex it and strengthen it. So the way we do it now is, probably 10 times the size of when we first did it. And what's so wonderful is that we're given room to push those boundaries and grow as we get stronger. And, a lot of snacks also.
Yeah, snacks are important.
What's your go-to snack? I saw some fall out of your bag. What are your go-to snacks like during the day?
This is going to sound awful, but I'm just like peanut butter.
I really like No Cow bars right now. The blueberries are good. Or the blueberry cobbler one. I don't know. It's like you find
Anything
something
quick.
new. Yeah, anything quick. But I think also what really feeds us would be the audiences that come see this show. Because... I don't know. It's like a new experience every single night, and you think like, oh, you do the show so many times, like, oh yeah, you're just gonna like go through it by the numbers, but like there's always a new element that comes from the audience. I don't know. It's like as if you're cooking. They bring like all the spices for the food, and all of a sudden you have like a completely different dish every night.
Beautiful analogy.
I don't know if that's actually a good analogy.
Oh, it's a really good analogy.
Very nice, yeah.
You both, it's so wonderful the other night to watch each of you do what you do. What's your favorite moment that he does, and what's the favorite moment that she does?
Oh, so easy.
Okay.
Because, I have two.
Okay.
But, so obviously, the end of Bat Out of Hell after I leave is, like, virtuosic amazing. I don't want to make you blush, but, I mean, it's outstanding every night. But I never get to see it unless we're in tech. So every time we tech and we run Bat, I sprint out and get to the front of house so I can watch the end of Bat. And so I've probably seen it like full on properly, maybe like 5 or 6 times ever. And I'm just like, how do you do that every night? Other favorite moment, end of Revved, which I watch from the rings?
The rings.
From the wings.
Where are the rings?
I work in theater, I promise.
The right wing, the left wing, the lings.
Which I love.
The wings?
Yeah, the wings.
The wings. I love
Gosh.
that. What's your favorite moment that she does?
I absolutely love, and I don't know, maybe I should be a little guilty about this because I'm not sure I'm actually acting, but I love watching her sing It's All Coming Back to Me. And I get to be like this far away from her and have like the super, super front row seat of her just singing that song and just like taking my breath away. And then I have to remember that I'm like actually in the scene and I like need to like actually... maybe more fully react as the character, but it's just she takes me on a journey every night, and I'm just grateful to experience it.
I love, that's beautiful. I love what you do with the microphone choreography.
Oh,
Crazy, right?
That is crazy, right? It's choreography, right?
Oh,
It makes
yeah.
it look really easy.
Yeah, totally.
It's not.
It looks easy and scary at the same time, isn't
It
it?
is easy and scary.
We've
Yeah.
all tried it. It doesn't look as cool when we do it.
I was going to say.
And I can see the music director kind of like ducking when he's conducting because I think he's afraid I'm going to just whack him in the face. But, and everyone always says, yeah, I'm surprised you don't hit yourself in the head. To which I go, well, like, here's where it starts. It's going to be swinging out here. If anything, it's whacked me in the leg once, and I've gotten like a terrible black and blue mark on my calf. And then it's also whacked me right on the back, so much that it actually left an imprint, and you could see where like the grating was on like the head of the
It's a
mic.
mic imprint.
Yeah, you could see a full mic imprint. It was like I got a tattoo
Super
for
rock and
about
roll.
Super
2
rock and roll
weeks.
is
Yeah.
what you give us in this show.
Super rock and roll.
You traveled around the world and across the country with this show. What is like that one thing you have to have, that item in your dressing room, or like when you traveled around, like I have to have this in my dressing room?
I have 2 rock and roll posters that I kind of can't live without. I put together like a collage of people that I think inspired me and also inspire the character, and it has like Jim Morrison on it. It has Chuck Berry and Jimi Hendrix and Iggy Pop, and then of course like Meatloaf and Jim Steinman on it. And so, I don't know, I can't really go anywhere without them, without seeing those images.
Perfect for you.
I have a little tiny speaker which is massively loud, which probably annoys people in the dressing room next to me all the time. But I can't go anywhere without music playing. Like, as soon as I'm in my dressing room, the first thing I do is put on my playlist for the dressing room, which is very specific, and I don't listen to it at any other time. It has like 200 songs in it, and it's like what gets me in the mood for the show.
So that's your pre-show ritual?
Yeah.
Your little loud little speaker?
Yeah. Like, I have a little dance by myself, honestly, for the last 5 minutes before I go on. I dance at myself in the mirror and have a great time.
What's your pre-show ritual?
Well, now it's I always grab Christina and bring her to my dressing room, and we go through the opening speech, which I don't know, it's such a crucial moment in the show because it kind of sets up the whole energy of the show and what people should expect, which is just a bombastic story of people finding their voices and finding love and ways to communicate and connect with one another.
So we make sure that connection's there before we do it for real in front of everyone.
Well, you can see it every time you see the show. I mean, you can see them, both of you. If you could sum up the best part of the experience of working on this show, what's it for each of you?
I don't know. I think I would say, like, the adventure in every way. The adventure connecting with casts, traveling, and the adventure for us as performers and people and what we've learned. When you do something and you get to create it, and you spend a couple of years on it, it becomes such a part of the fabric of your life like you wouldn't believe. And it's a very emotional experience when you look back and think of how much actually the job has given us. Really.
Yeah, I mean, this show is woven into our DNA now. And I think what's so beautiful about the work of Jim Steinman is that he really, really understood and still understands the human experience at every age of our lives, whether it's paradise when you're 17 and getting hot and throbbing in a car, or whether you're, going through more sensitive times when you're telling someone for the first time, for crying out loud, I love you. And I think being able to experience all of that has not only enriched our lives, but helped to better understand and be grateful for, like, the human experience that we all live. And so, I don't know, for crying out loud, we love you, Jim Steinman.
I love it. Now, you're going to do something special for us at BroadwayWorld, aren't you?
We are.
Thing.
I love it.
Especially for you. This is our amazing musical director, Ryan Cantwell.
And this is Making Love Out of Nothing at All.
Just how to whisper, and I know just how to cry.
I know just where to find the answers, and I know just how to lie.
I know just how to fake it, and I know just how to scheme.
I know just when to face the truth, and then I know just when to dream.
Just where to touch you, and I know just what to prove. I know when to pull you closer,
and I know when to let you loose.
and I know the night is fading, and I know the time's gonna fly, and I'm never gonna tell you everything I gotta tell you, but I know I gotta give it a try. But I don't know how to leave. Out of nothing at all.
Every time I see you, all the rays of the sun are streaming through the waves in your hair, and every star in the sky is taking aim at your eyes like a spotlight.
Beating on my heart is a drum, and it's lost and it's looking for a rhythm like you.
You can take the darkness from the pit of the night and turn into a beacon burning endlessly bright. I gotta follow it, 'cause everything I know,
well, it's nothing till I give it to you. Making love
Well, thank you very much for sharing that special number for the audience at Broadway World.
You
Thank
are
you.
so
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Listen, thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for stopping by, and have the best journey you're having with Bat Out of Hell.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much. I mean, it is all thanks to you and like everyone in New York City. We're so grateful to be here.